Yo, what's up guys? NinjaNick333 back with round 3 of the ARG Valentine's Day tournament at Professor Bond's Emporium in Amsterdam, New York. We have on our left, we have Mike, who is playing Ultra Necrozma Malamar, and on our right we have Logan, who is playing Lost March with the new Emolga from Team Up that searches for itself. uh, that you just use for Pokemon communication and Lost Blunder fodder, which is really cool. It also has free retreat, so deck's busted. Unfortunately, this is pretty much near an auto loss for Logan, as Ultra Necrozma has that Sky Scorching Light GX attack, where it can just take multiple prizes in one turn against the Lost Marchers. It also has the Giratina that puts 10 down on 2 bench Pokemon, so he puts that down on the 70 HP dudes and then sweeps all the 60 or lesses. So uh, Logan pretty much just loses by sitting down at the table. Fortunately for him, they were both 2-0 at this point, so they did both ID this round, which was pretty cool. But they're deciding to play it out anyway, just so I have some recordings for this. So nice of them. Looks like Mike starts. He unfortunately starts the Giratina. It's the most god awful start in the game. Uh, well, at least in this deck, Giratina takes 3 energy to attack or retreat. So it is just stuck there. He is a fat boy. Mike would have loved to start Inkay, or even better yet, the Jirachi, because the Jirachi would let him find things like Switch or whatever. Mike's just going to go ahead and he's going to do everything he can to set up as many Inkays as he can turn 1, so that turn 2 he can have as many Malamars as possible. But this Giratina active, unless he gets Guzma next turn, he really just doesn't have any way to load it up. He would need like Guzma Escape Board on turn 2 in order to take a knockout, along with Malamars. So it's like highly unlikely. Starting the Giratina is just super bad. So at least he gets down a couple Inkays, and he passes the turn here. Logan is going to do what Lost March does. It's going to Emolga, for an Emolga, Pokemon Communication, put that Emolga back, so he can get it again later. Grab that Hoppip. He wants Hoppips out turn 1. In this particular matchup, you don't want to go triple Hoppip or quadruple Hoppip on the bench turn 1, as you would against normal GX base decks. Malamar is really more of a one prizer deck with some GXs in it as alternate attackers, which is kind of weird to say. The Giratina is the main attacker, and it kind of just like pulls the Sky Scorching Light out of its butt at the end in order to win the game. So Logan wants to make sure that he staggers his jump luffs into play, so that they don't all get the 10 on them at once from Giratina. Preferably put them active the turn that he Floral Paths, in order to make sure the Giratina can't put damage on it. Just in fear of that Sky Scorching Light. Looks like Logan uses the Trumbeak, does not find a supporter at the top of Mike's deck, so he just kind of fails that, but gets an extra Pokemon in the Lost Zone, which is good for his strategy here of knocking stuff out. What Logan's going to want to do is he's going to want to make sure this Giratina stays in play, and Guzma knockouts Inkays and Malamars. Unfortunately, I don't know how many Guzma Logan is playing. Probably a lower count. Lost March tends to only play around 2, I think, most of the time. Maybe 3, I don't know. It looks like Logan Great Balls for the Marshadow. He's thinking about what else to do. Looks like he's going to Lost Blender. I think discarding, as not 2 and Emolga, or maybe that was a Marshadow and Emolga. Perfectly fine to get rid of those Emolgas now. Looks like he's going to shuffle his deck. So he's got to draw the 1 with the Lost Blender still, right? Yeah, okay, so he draws his 1. It's a Great Ball. That's not bad. He could use that to get a Hoppip into play, but nah. The other cards in his hand are too important to discard, so he is just going to let loose. Hopefully put Mike into a dead hand. So we'll see if that ends up working out for him. I feel like the Jeopardy theme's playing in my head right now while they shuffle. Alright, so looks like Logan's got a grass. He doesn't want to attach that to the Hoppip because if he ends up using Floral Path, it's going to put the grass in the Lost Zone, so definitely don't want to do that. That would be dum-dum. Looks like Mike is going for the Mysterious Treasure into the Lele. Lele into Cynthia. Definitely needs to do that. His hand is like kind of dead right now. He's just got the energy in the Marshadow. So he needs to be doing something right now. Getting more cards, getting more Malamars into play in preparation for potentially being knocked out by Logan. And again, the thing with this whole thing is that Giratina. It's stuck there. He has no way to energy accelerate to his active, only to his bench. So that Giratina start is really hurting him right now. I think right now, Mike, I think he has around 3 Psychic Energy in his discard pile, so I think a Psychic Recharge to either the Lele or the Jirachi would be really good right now, just to give him a pivot for next turn. If his Giratina dies, then he can bring the Giratina back, and then just hard retreat, not have to find a skateboard, not have to find Guzma, not have to find Switch. He will probably put the Jirachi active, so I would personally put the Psychic Energy on the Jirachi. He does only have 2 Malamars in play, so he definitely wants a way to pivot right now. He could always just put the Psychic to the Lele, and then hope he gets a Skateboard or Switch or Guzma off of the Jirachi, which would be kind of fine. But I think that you... Well, no, because if you put the Psychic... I'm stupid. If you put the Psychic on the Jirachi, and you put it active and use its ability, it's going to go to sleep, so it can't retreat. So you would actually have to... Yeah, so put it on the Lele. Put it on the Lele for sure. I think you still would promote the Jirachi in the event of the Giratina dying, but you just want to see more cards. Get that free Trainer's Mail effect every time you can. Try to get in a Skateboard or a Guzma for funsies. I guess you really don't have to, though. So if you just pivot with the Lele, like there's really no point. You could just knock out whatever's active. It depends on what goes active for Logan. If he does end up attacking with this, with a jump bluff. So it looks like he Great Balls for a jump bluff. He probably has Pokemon Communication, or maybe Lost Blender in his hand. Hopefully Pokemon Communication, because you don't want to discard or just hold on to the jump bluff. So it looks like Logan is using Floral Path to the Sky. He's got to find another die because he has 7 in his Lost Zone right now. That's 140 damage. So that is just enough to knock out a Giratina. I still don't think that you want to knock out the Giratina. If he has the ability to Guzma knock out a Malamar, that would put Logan in the best position possible right now. It looks like he puts down that grass energy and just knocks out the Giratina. So, I also don't remember if Logan played a draw supporter or not this turn. Looks like his hand is Lost Blender, double jump off, so that's super bad for Logan. Yeah, super bad. Alright, so it looks like Mike puts Jirachi active, finds a Guzma off of his effect of the ability. So he is easily going to just bring Giratina back, attach, double Psychic Recharge, and then knock a boy out. So he's going to Giratina. He's going to put 10 on the Marshadow. He's thinking about whether or not wants to put it on the Emolga or the Natu. I think Natu is the correct choice for sure. For the longest time, I thought Emolga had 70 HP. It does not. It has 60. So the math on that one does not matter. At least put it on the Natu so that you can potentially kill it just off abilities. If like Logan whips DCs a lot, he's going to leave it on his bench, so you just bop it up. Looks like he goes Guzma on the Emolga. I think out of everything on Logan's bench, I think the knockout on the Emolga is the most correct. Because, well, I don't know. It does thin him. I think I would have Guzma knocked out the... Yeah, so I think I would have put the 10 on the Emolga, and I would have Guzma knocked out the Natu. Because Natu, if it just gets a DCE, can attack. So I think I would have rather just knocked out the attacker. Of course, he doesn't know that Logan's hand is dead. Only I do, because I saw the camera. So, thinking that Logan's hand isn't dead, I think knocking out the Emolga is more correct, because he could have Pokemon communications. And, of course, Logan now flashes his opponent his hand, so now Mike definitely knows that the hand is dead, and that he should have knocked out the Natu instead. But, like, it doesn't matter. So, Giratina dies again. Logan down to 4 prizes, getting dangerously close to the 6 combined total prizes. As you can see, Logan has the Machamp as his GX marker. Good for you, Logan, being part of the Machamp gang. Represent. Now we get an extra 10 on the Marshadow and an extra 10 on the Natu while bringing that Giratina back. I think I would have put it on the Hoppip instead of the Marshadow. I mean, it literally matters in like almost no scenario. I guess if Logan just whiffs Skiploom like 3 turns in a row, you could knock out the Hoppip on the bench with the ability. But the thing is like that's not really, like, it just doesn't matter because you would have to be knocked out that many times. And like in order to be knocked out that many times, you would have to get him to have the Skiploom, so it doesn't matter. Switch brings in that Giratina that had the double Psychic Recharge and the attached return. Blows up that jump bluff. So that's Mike's in the best possible position he could be in now. He is just Giratina looping. It's the best way to beat Lost March, is just loop that Giratina until you get to Sky Scorching. Logan top decks that DCE, uses the Lost Blender to get rid of a Jump Bluff and I think some other Pokemon, putting him at 9 Pokemon in his Lost Zone. That is 180, so that is enough to knock out the Lele. He uses Pokemon Communication. He's going to put a Pokemon back. He's going to search for another Pokemon. I think he just put a Jump Bluff back, but I kind of missed it. He's going to go for the Oranguru. Looks like he has no cards in hand at this point, so that is actually super good. That's going to let him draw some cards that he would not otherwise have. If he were to get like Skiploom here, he just would not have any follow-up after that. So he would be in top deck mode hoping for a supporter. At least the Oranguru gives him better odds to drawing into a supporter. Unfortunately, it looks like he found a Jump Bluff off of there. I don't know if he has any more Jump Bluffs left in his deck, so that could be bad for him. It looks like he's going to attempt a Floral Path to the Sky, but I don't think he has any Jump Bluff in his deck. Yeah, he doesn't have any Jump Bluff left in his deck. So there's that. So he uses the ability and failed it. So Skiploom stays in play. That's kind of fine for now. I mean, next turn he could just hope to find like Cynthia or Pokemon Communication in order to put the Jump Bluff back into his deck, and then Floral Path to bring it into play. He's going to take that Natu knockout there. Mike puts the Jirachi active again. Looks like he has no switch card again, So he's going to hope to get it off this Jirachi, and there is both a skateboard and Guzma. I think you go a skateboard here. Because the Natu is the one with the energy. He just showed you that he failed Floral Path, so you're not afraid of the Skiploom being able to do anything. So I think you go a skateboard. And then, yeah, he has a metal in hand and he has the forest in play. So yeah, you definitely go a skateboard. Knock out the Natu. But it looks like he's going to go for the Guzma. Also, since Logan is dead drawing, I think Mike's reasoning here for going to the Guzma, yeah, is he wants to knock out that Oranguru actually. I'm not sure how much I agree with that. Logan's hand is 3 cards, and kind of last turn he kind of proved that there was no way that he could draw more cards off of Oranguru. So yeah, looks like Logan preemptively promoted that Oranguru, knowing that the Guzma was coming. And also Mike attacks with the Ultra Necrozma. So I don't like this whole turn. I think that hang on. So I think that in this scenario, you bring back the Giratina again, you attach the metal, you double Psychic Recharge. Either you take the Guzma with the Jirachi, Guzma up the Oranguru and knock it out, because you think Logan has cards in his hand. But he just kind of showed by using the Skiploom here and failing that like his hand deck is just kind of dead. Plus this Natu has an energy on it. This Natu is the immediate threat. So I think that you knock the you just take the escape board, you retreat into the Giratina, and you knock out the Natu. That forces Logan to be able to find a way to put the Jumpluff back into his deck, and then Floral Path to Sky it while also getting an energy. So he would have to have like Cynthia or Pokemon Communication Cynthia, or Lily or whatever draw supporters Lost March plays. I honestly have no idea. I don't play it. I think putting the Ultra Necrozma into play is super unnecessary because now that lets Logan go from 3 prizes to 1 if he manages to find the Jumpluff, which makes this game way too close. I think that Mike definitely has the Ultra Necrozma in hand, so he's probably thinking that he can Sky Scorching next turn with a metal in his deck from the Viridian Forest. But Logan does play, I know for a fact, Sky Pillar. So if he can replace the Stadium, I know Mike has another one in his hand, but if Logan was able to replace that Stadium, I would just be way too afraid. I would not have done any of those things Mike did the last turn. But who am I to know? I hate Malamar and I'm really bad with it. I can never win any games with it, so... so, yeah, it looks like Logan's going to go in for the Cynthia. He is going to Floral Path because the Jumpluff proceeded to stay in his deck after shuffling it back in, so that is cool. And, yeah, Logan gets the Jumpluff into play. So now he uses, looks like, the Viridian Forest's effect to get the Grass energy. So yeah, if Logan didn't have Cynthia, his whole turn was dead. And if you knocked out the Natu while his whole hand was dead, you would just win there. And then be able to Sky Scorching the next turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, I guess if he did knock out the Natu, then he doesn't get knocked out back, and then he can't put the Necrozma into play. But why would you care? Also, has Mike been forgetting to put damage on his board? I think Mike's been forgetting to put damage on his board with the Giratina's effect as well. Every time you attack with Giratina, you have to put 4 damage counters in play. So it looks like that's game anyway. I kind of just missed what happened the last turn. Yeah, so Mike put down the extra Ultra Necrozma. He Viridian Forest for the metal energy. Put that down. Psychic Recharge. He has a switching card of some sort, so he takes the Sky Score. Go back here. Okay, he has a skateboard, so he skateboards into this Ultra Necrozma. He puts the metal down, Psychic recharges. Yeah, retreat, Sky Scorching Light, GX takes a knockout on Marshadow, Natu, and Emolga. So Mike does end up winning, barely. I think there was a couple misplays on his part. I think Logan played it actually pretty well. I do kind of wish that Logan got the Sky Pillar, because that would have been funny. But unfortunately, I do know that Mike had another Viridian Forest in his hand. As you can see, he discarded it for the Viridian Forest effect. Okay, so yeah. So that's game. Logan barely lost. But yeah, that just kind of shows you the power of Sky Scorching Light GX and Ultra Necrozma. How one-sided it makes that matchup. I think like going into like the Collinsville meta and previous week's OCIC, Lost March is just not the play. Even though it gains so much out of Pokemon communication in Emolga, I think that the fact that Viridian Forest makes Ultra Necrozma so much better, and everybody just kind of loves Ultra Necrozma as a deck, that it's just not the play, unfortunately. I think if it was like an entire meta of just like big GXs that aren't named Ultra Necrozma, I think Lost March would be the play, but unfortunately it's just not. It's not quite enough right now because its HP is so low. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I will see you guys next round. Next round's a little interesting. Let's put it that way. I'll see you guys then.